We are Makilala TV, the first Filipino-American TV talk show in the New York metro area. Get to know us as we talk to the community leaders, innovators, advocates, and emerging artists who affect Filipino-American life.
In the 1984 presidential debate, then President Ronald Reagan said, "I believe in the idea of amnesty for those who have put down roots and who have lived here enough, even though some time back they may have entered illegally." In 1986, Ronald Reagan signed the Immigration Reform and Control Act, also known as the Amnesty Bill, which allowed out-of-status immigrants to become citizens if they admitted guilt, paid a fine, and back taxes. On that day, he stated, "Very soon, many of these men and women will be able to step into the sunlight, and ultimately, if they choose, they may become Americans." In 1995, President Bill Clinton, on the State of the Union address, said, "Americans, not only in the states mostly heavily affected, but in every place in this country, are rightly disturbed by the large numbers of illegal aliens entering our country. The jobs they hold might otherwise be held by citizens or legal immigrants. The public service they use impose burdens on our taxpayers. That's why our administration has moved aggressively to secure our borders more by hiring a record number of border guards, by deporting twice as many criminal aliens as ever before, by cracking down on illegal hiring, by barring welfare benefits to illegal aliens. We are a nation of immigrants, but we are also a nation of laws." And on September 1996, President Bill Clinton signed into law the Illegal Immigration Reform and Immigrant Responsibility Act. And on that day, my future, and that of many others, changed. I'm Jen Feuer, along with my co-host Cristina Pastor and Rochelle Ocampo. We welcome you to Makilala's episode on Immigration, a 30-year journey. We will also talk with councilman and immigration lawyer Arvin Amatorio. Also today, we will be joined by Francis Estrada and Arvee Garde, martial arts instructors at PTK Elite. All that right now at Makilala TV, here at Manhattan Neighborhood Network. Hello again, and welcome to Makilala. It's a very timely topic. We actually planned this even before what's currently going on. But I think it's important for people to know that there are existing laws right now that affect them as immigrants, as out-of-status immigrants, or those who are petitioning. My daughter asked me 3 weeks ago when finally my mom arrived. I can't believe I'm already crying. Cristina, you have to make me laugh. Because it took like 11 years before my mom could come back. My daughter asked me, she's like, "Mom, how did you become legal?" And I said, well, my journey was also 11 years. I came here in 1984, before the bill was passed, the Amnesty Bill. And everybody told me, oh, you could just come in as a tourist. You could hide, tago ng tago, that was the term.
TNT.
TNT, and everybody does it. And said, okay, that was like, I was 20, right out of graduation. I was the top of my class. I don't know why, why would I go to America? To have a better life. That was the main reason. So I went, my visa was only 3 months. I don't know how I got a tourist visa. I was just I'm one of the lucky ones, like random. There was like one system. And every day from that time till 11 years later when I got my status, my green card, I was scared that I will get picked up. I was scared of the white van that will come and knock on my door and said, okay.
Even after you've already gotten your visa?
Well, it took 11 years.
Oh, okay.
So actually, and I was just, every day for the first 2 years, I was crying.
That's right.
And then, not I stopped crying. And then I got a job. And they got strict. They needed employment verification, and that was around 1989. So they already passed the Amnesty Bill, and the Amnesty Bill doesn't cover those who come 1984. They come 1982. So I was like 2 years short. But somebody told me at work that I know somebody, we've done it. We came here like past 1982, and I know someone that could help you. I was desperate. I need to continue working. And I said, everybody got the green card. So, okay, might as well do it. So my mom and I, we went to this, like a little pizza place in the city, like 7th Avenue, like really dark. And we met this European big lady, kind of like Russian speaking, and she
Starts like the beginning of like a mob story.
It looked like a mob story, yeah.
It's like a plot of,
And then-
getting taken advantage of.
And then, but you know what? When you're like, I want to get something done. I want to be legal.
Yeah,
I want to be
yeah.
here. You kind of like, okay. I always had my mom there, so I figured, okay, maybe I'll be safe.
Was that your first lawyer?
And she wasn't even a lawyer. She
So
was
but who referred you to that person?
somebody who used to who worked in the same company, who used her and got the green card through the Amnesty.
Okay.
But I wasn't here. There was like a 2-year gap. So the lady said, well, I will give you a utility bill with backdated date. I'll give you an envelope that tells you that someone's getting a mail.
Yeah, that's right.
And I felt like, okay, and this is fine. Yeah, I said, yeah, that's okay. All right. But of course, it's $10,000. But I had a good job, and I figured, okay, I'll be here for a long time, and I'll be able to like get all my family here. And it took like 2 years of processing. I went in front of immigration officer, and I said, and I couldn't lie, I guess. My face revealed that I wasn't here in '82. It's like, oh yeah, I crossed the border in Mexico, and then.
Wait, did you really cross the border?
No, but I was supposed to tell I crossed the border.
That was your lie?
That was the lie. But then I had a passport. I had 1994 stamp. But then I had to go home, and then I came back. And
Well, crossing the border is not a typical Filipino way of getting here.
I know, but I didn't know. I said everybody crossed the border.
Oh my God, Jen. Okay, all right.
But
go
you know
ahead.
what? Other people, what they do is they travel around. They go to Mexico and they cross the border. Somebody told me that.
Okay.
And then, of course, the immigration officer, well, we can't really prove that you were here in '82. And I was like, I think I was pregnant with my second already. It took like 2 years, and I got pregnant with the second one. And I started crying. What am I gonna do?
But you were married already at the time?
Yeah, but he's a Canadian.
Okay.
I know I should have married a citizen back then, but I didn't.
I'm giving you bad advice.
I know.
Okay. First of all, American, not Canadian. Wrong country.
So the immigration officer said, you know what? So I thought they're gonna
you are
send us
even
some-
crying. You have a really funny story.
But it's a story actually that a lot of people probably relate to because you basically got taken advantage of.
I know.
Over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Like, who are you going to be able to trust? How did you know to trust?
And that was just me. Forget
Yeah.
about my family. My family. So 1992, I think. So they're really. Somebody told them, oh, you can apply for asylum, and there's another $10,000 per person. And they just arrived, and they just came. And I know people who just arrived, and they
And
went to California, and they got the agriculture.
The asylum thing, where you consulted another attorney for the
Yeah,
asylum?
another lawyer. I wish I could tell you what's his name, but if you want to know his name, you just have to Facebook message me. But yeah, another lawyer who happens to be married to a Filipina. He's not a Filipino, but everybody went to him. It's another 10,000 per person. Said, "Oh, you're never gonna get deported. You're gonna appeal and appeal, appeal." It's not true. So in 1999, the first deportation we had in our family, we didn't know it was going to exist, that it's going to happen, because everybody said nobody gets deported.
Yeah, yeah.
I was 1999, and we found out that my second to the youngest brother was picked up at work. Who gets picked up at
He
work?
literally got
A lot of them
handcuffed
get picked up at work.
You guys,
Yeah.
they handcuff you like this,
Yeah, yeah.
over here and over there. And they took him to Elizabeth Detention Center. And it's not Club Med. It's actually in prison. You wear this orange jumpsuit, and you go through this metal detector, and then you talk to them over glass, and then over the phone. And
But if you see it in the other point of view, in terms of he committed.
He overstayed his status.
Yeah.
Right.
yeah,
So
but then
technically
we
he
were
is-
paying retainers to lawyers, which is true.
Yeah.
We weren't supposed to be here legally. And
Yeah.
there's a law that's passed in 1996, what we didn't know, that you could get deported.
Yeah.
And you're banned. You can't, after you get, if you overstay 1 year, right? Is it 5 years or?
No, if you stay over a year without legal status or you're unlawfully present and you departed the United States, you are barred to come back for at least 10 years.
Right.
But if you stayed your visa or if you are out of status for more than 6 months but less than 1 year, you are barred for 3 years. So we call that a 3-year and a 10-year bar.
Right.
What if
I mean,
you
people
stayed,
didn't know about
What if
that.
you overstayed for 10 years?
It doesn't matter as
It
long as
doesn't matter,
okay. If it's
you
over.
cross the threshold of 1
Of
year.
1 year, yeah.
You're barred to come back here for 10 years if you depart the United States. So what triggers the bar is the departure from the United States going to your native country.
But
So
they,
if you're still young, you can leave and come back after 10 years. If, for example, you were found out at the age of 20, I can still wait 10 years. 30, I can come back. Is that possible?
That's possible, of
but you
course.
need a visa to come
Yeah,
back.
that's right.
I mean,
but there is that opportunity within the system, within the broken system, that allows you to come
yeah,
back.
which is actually true because before the big, because my parents got deported and my two other brothers in 2005. That was
That's
like
right,
1990 to 2005. So it was actually the most horrible. I don't think we would have survived.
That's right. Yeah.
But before that, the immigration officers were knocking on my door and looking for my brothers, and they were telling me, if you go home now, if they go home, it will be 5 years as opposed to 10 years as opposed to 20 years. But a lawyer said, oh, we could always appeal it. We could always, like wait to the last, but the
So
last
they
second
were
was
telling you.
yeah, and they were already telling us. But you know what? You didn't want to hear it. My brother was here. He came here when he was 12. He was here for 20 years. And then for you to go back after being 20 years,
does
kind
he
of
have
like
a family,
scary.
your brother?
No, he didn't have a family, man.
So, Arvin, why are there lawyers who give bad advice and they don't go to jail? Come on.
Yeah, how did- yeah,
Isn't
how
that
did- why-
really what's wrong with the system?
Because
They should
it's-
also go to jail.
well, first you go to jail if you committed criminal act.
But they gave bad advice
But
that led
that's-
to people
un-
committing further the criminal.
Unfortunately,
whatever act that is.
unless the act of the lawyer is criminal in nature, for instance, you ask your client to violate the law that's criminal in nature, then I would say the lawyer might be penalized going to jail. But errors in judgment is not a criminal activity. I'm not, defending that attorney. I don't know him.
Oh, we were at fault
and-
too because we were.
And I don't know them, but they could say, for instance, everybody makes mistake. I'm not saying it's just one mistake that they committed, but if it's a tons of mistake with different clients, then it goes to your reputation and your credibility as a lawyer. But if you're asking me why they don't go to jail,
Yeah.
because it's not a criminal act. Even a doctor who commits a malpractice,
They get sued.
they get sued for civil liability. They pay,
Yeah, my other lawyer said we should sue sue the other lawyer, but then we
malpractice,
have to
but-
pay the lawyer to sue the other
sue the
lawyer,
other
and I think we've had like enough lawyers.
But going back to your discussion that you were saying, and the reason why I know it's water under the bridge, but the reason why I want to emphasize this because most people, when they, for instance, they go into deportation, the idea is, I don't want to go home. I'm gonna fight it out, until, I'm being deported. But like you said also, what if it's you're young though? It's okay. There is also a relief that what we call the voluntary departure that doesn't carry the 10-year bar.
Yeah.
For instance,
So is that what they call the self-deportation?
the self-deportation.
Or are those two different concepts?
Well, almost the same, but there is a thin line that divides them. When you say voluntary departure, that is also a relief available through the court. For instance, you don't have criminal records, and you want to go to, you agree with the judge that instead of you being deported or instead of going to a marriage hearing, you can just go home. So the good thing about it is you're given a time. For instance, you're not going to be detained. They'll let you out. You have your passport with you, and at a certain period of time, for instance, the court allows you to stay here in the United States and wind up your affairs for 60 days. then before the expiration of the 60 days, you have to depart the United States. Then it doesn't carry the bar because...
Can you come back?
Yes, you can come back because there is no record of deportation.
Oh, okay.
That's what you call voluntary deportation.
Okay.
Now, when you say, what about you if you self-deport?
Self-deport, yeah.
Self-deport is when let's say you have a proceedings that is pending in court, and without asking for voluntary departure, you just say, you know what, I'm tired of these things, I'll just go home and leave. So when the court hearing is due, and you are called and you don't appear because you left, then the court will order your deportation, although you are out of the country already. So that carries the 10-year bar also.
So
So
you
even
really
though
had to go
Yeah.
into the process.
that's why you have to ask for voluntary departure. But
Yeah.
not everybody is entitled to voluntary departure.
And not everybody knows that, I think.
Not
too.
everybody knows that.
Yeah.
So if you have a criminal record, you are not also entitled to voluntary departure. So that's one thing.
If you are in the country for something like 15 years, can you still opt for voluntary departure?
Yeah, I mean you can be here 50 years if you want, as long as you have no criminal record
criminal
and you have
record.
good moral character. You are entitled to voluntary departure.
And then you can still come back,
you can still come back.
theoretically.
Let's say, for instance, you have your family-based petition or your employment-based petition, you can come back because there is no record that you are deported.
Okay.
Yeah, the family-based petition, the daughter to a parent, that's pretty easy. I mean, that's pretty short, although it felt like forever for me.
Right.
But the siblings to siblings, that's like 20 years?
Yeah, that's
Yes.
very
30
long.
years?
Yeah.
My mom has been petitioning each of her siblings, and she got her first couple of siblings after 20. How old am I now? Yeah, over 20 years.
Oh, wow.
It took her. So she literally had to wait and go through that process.
Right, because the difference, going back to your question, parents or children, considered the immediate relative. So there is no priority date. The visa is immediately available. But with regards to the sibling, you have to, you have to wait for your line. It's like there's priority date. For instance, the F1,
That's right.
the F2. So you have to wait certain period. And unfortunately, the siblings, it's back in the line.
Yeah.
So especially for the Philippines, where we have a lot of U.S. citizens petitioning your brothers and sisters. So the line is really long.
I think they're processing 1993.
They're processing that long. So
Is there a way to, like, 'cause my dad, I had a petition from my father, and I had a petition, and my mom had a petition from her brother that were both approved. Can I just assign them to my two brothers? Just like, okay, can I just give the number to my brothers?
no, because the priority date is based on the relationship.
Okay.
So it's not that you're entitled to that number. It's not assigned to you, but it's like in the pool. And once you are entitled to the number, they get the number from the pool and give it to you. That's why I remember when you emailed me what am I gonna do with the petition for
My mother.
my mother through her sibling. So can I return it? You can inform I remember I told you you notify the National Visa Center so that they can use that number for other applicants.
I know. I was like, can they give it to my back? 'Cause it's
Unfortunately,
mine. Okay.
I wish we could do that. Just get the number and keep it for us.
Under the current government of Donald Trump, do you see immigration laws simplifying?
It's really right now. It's very the unpredictability of immigration law is right there right now. You have you have his advisors, very conservative and strict immigration advisors, anti-immigration. I would say.
advice.
I don't think they're anti-immigration. I think anti-illegal immigration.
Okay, that's another thing to debate.
Okay, I mean that's
Steve Bannon, hello.
I think it depends on
But
on
you know
Your
what?
definition of
They've been
illegal.
talking about immigration reform for 30 years, right? So maybe you have to fix something that's broken, so that because it's been broken for 30 years. Okay, I see Tony Lynn saying we have 2 minutes. You've been broken for 30 years, so
Why should we listen to Tony? Love you.
I think we should get it fixed. Why can't we get it fixed? I mean, how hard
It is
could
such
be?
a complicated thing.
I know,
Very
but
complicated.
then like me, there'll be people becoming, they'll be like, they'll give you an amnesty, and then there are people that will be outside the cutoff, then all will be in a circle.
Remember,
You're a councilman too, so
the-
maybe.
there were attempts to repeal the immigration law and to have a comprehensive one, but both sides of the aisle couldn't agree on something.
Yeah, that's right.
Maybe
Politics
we
gets
should
in the
run
way.
for office.
During the
Yeah.
time of President Bush, there was already a package
Right,
presented to him, but the Democrats resisted. And during the time of President Obama, the Republicans
yeah.
resisted. So,
Right.
I mean, it's really hard to change it. The only thing we can change it probably is, if both Congress would be in the same party and the president, and they'll do it.
Which is
Which,
right what
which
it is right
uh,
now.
never happened during the
Oh
time
my
of
God, we
President
gotta
Obama.
have another
But do
conversation.
you agree that immigration is really a broken system?
It is a broken
It is a
system.
broken system.
In my experience, I've seen a lot of people who deserve to be here
Yeah.
that are deported, and I've seen a lot of people who do not deserve to be here, but they can stay here because
I know.
of
I mean,
the
we
waivers.
could have a part 2, but unfortunately, we have to thank you, by the way, for being here. And he really is an amazing lawyer. So please get a hold of him if you need any questions. Rochelle and Christina, thank you so much. We have to turn the studio to Francis Estrada and Arvee Garde from PTK Brooklyn. Thank you so much, and see you soon.
Magandang tanghali. My name is Francis Estrada,
I'm Arvee Garde.
and we're here from Pekiti Tirsia Kali Elite here in New York City. Pekiti Tirsia is a martial arts system based out of Panay and Negros, and it was developed in the late 1800s by the Tortal family. It was brought to New York in 1972 by Grand Tuan Leo Gahe, who is the current grandmaster of our system. His nephew and student, Tuhan Mertotal, is my direct teacher, who asked us to start a group in 2011 here in New York. So what we're going to show you today are just basically the basic movements of Pekiti Tirsia Kali. Pekiti means to getting close, Tirsia means to quarter. So it's a system of combat-based system where we attack based on a triangle, we move based on triangle, and instead of talking, we'll just show you the movements.
Yes, let's go ahead. So what we're going to do here first, just work on basic moves. So we're going to be using rattan sticks. And the idea here is actually for the offensive that I'm going to use my partner sort of as a target and a mimic. So he's trying to hit me and I'm trying to hit him. Again, we're working off angles, contact, and then from here, from the high angles, we can do low angles. So from underneath, then back inside. Again, the idea here is that I'm trying to target the head, and so he's doing the same. Now, from contact, we do counteroffensive, which means I want to try to attack his hand. So as I go to the outside, I want to try to get, again, to the back of his hand. All right? So for us, we do not want to get hit. We want to be the ones to hit them. As part of our striking, too, we also have thrusts. So as thrust comes through, we're going to go into a sabayan, which means at the same time, his thrust versus my thrust. Okay? And of course, as we go through this drill, we always want to get in and out by using inserts. Right? So as he comes through inside here, I'm going to come through, one, and then it'll feed back inside.
And now they're the same. Come back out.
So from here, we have different ranges also with weapons. So from our sticks, we can actually go into our single knife. Again, the idea is that we're using the same principle, but we're just going to a closer range. So we can use the same drills here. We can also use sort of the idea of the same applications. Okay, thank you very much. So I guess at this time, we'd like to bring some of our hosts up here to try it out.
We'll hire knives.
I want to make sure this is plastic.
It's aluminum.
Well, it's aluminum.
From kaligear.com. So the first thing we want you to try is you're just going to move forward with your left foot and come back with the right. That's
Yeah.
it. It's like dancing. Forward,
We're just stepping up
back.
and go.
One more. Forward, back. Now next, you're going to have your right hand on your left shoulder, and you're just going to hack and slap back to the shoulder. So down, up, down, slap. We'll show you. So, an example, if Arvee just comes at me with a punch, I hack and I slap. So you're gonna do this slowly. Let's pretend that you have your phone on you, or no phone.
I have a phone.
I'll have one for you to borrow. Oh, actually, you get to slap. Exactly. So the idea is now, this is what we're gonna do. Do you want a phone or no phone?
No phone.
No phone, okay.
I am the mother. I need her phone.
Okay, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna try to reach for her phone, and you're gonna step forward, hit, and then push my elbow and slap, or hack. That's it.
That's it.
That's
Okay,
it.
that's easy to
So
do.
if you try it,
Like that. Okay.
that's it.
So I will do this.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Try it again.
Okay.
No, don't go for the phone.
So now she has a phone. So that's your counteroffensive.
Okay. Well, the idea really is to be in, as we learn the footwork, the idea is to really try to get to the outside. Because what I want to do is basically make sure that I'm in, out of harm's way. That's why we moved to the outside. The idea with the phone is sort of just in play that we can actually just apply it afterwards.
It's a new year. If you'd like to start training in Filipino martial arts or even study things about urban awareness, please feel free to reach out to us at ptkelite@gmail.com or ptkelite.com.
Yeah, don't forget, thank you again, Arvin, arvinamatorio.com, ptkbrooklyn.com, Cristina and Rochelle. This is Jen Fuhrer. Maraming salamat. Thank you sa ulitin.